2018 Mercedes-AMG GT C Roadster. When the Mercedes-AMG GT emerged back in 2014 as the lighter, nimbler, and cheaper successor to the SLS AMG, not only were the 456 HP base and 503 HPS variants arguably among the company's most focused and well-balanced performance cars since the original 300 SL, the coupes finally gave Mercedes something it had always lacked: legitimate competition for Porsche's iconic 911 Carrera. Key to the 911 Carrera's lasting popularity is the sheer variety of models offered, including the most basic stick-shift coupe, the opulent, 580 HP Turbo S Cabriolet, and the hypervisceral, track-oriented GT3. With each Porsche feeling as special as or more special than the last, Mercedes knew it eventually would have to cook up more flavors of the GT to give the 911 a run for its money. 3 years on, as the AMG coupes undergo mid-cycle enhancements and slight horsepower bumps to 469 and 515 horsepower, reinforcements have finally arrived. 4 additional models triple the GT lineup for 2018, the long-awaited Roadster version of the GT, new GT C Coupe and Roadster models with 550 horses and comprehensive AMG performance enhancements, and the wicked, track-focused 577 HP GTR, a monster coupe that topped our 2017 Lightning Lap competition. The 6-model lineup definitely will help the GT compete with the 911, but does each feel special in and of itself? We're on a mission to find out, having just tested a new GT C Roadster which seems purpose-built to go head-to-head with Porsche's sporting 911 GTS Cabriolet. As it turns out, however close it may be to matching or surpassing its Porsche nemesis on paper, the AMG offers delights all its own. A devil with a blue dress. The GT C Roadster is gorgeously curvaceous, from its convex Panamericana grille to its tapered rear end, and looks as beautiful as its coupe counterpart despite lacking the dome-like roof. As do the 911 GTS and the Chevrolet Corvette Z06 in comparison with their lesser siblings. The GTC features a wider rear end than the GT/GTS, some 2.7 inches wider in this case to accommodate a greater rear track and fatter rear tires, size 305/30 ZR20, up from 295/35 ZR19. Standard rear-wheel steering offers up to 1.5 degrees of toe movement. Flared side sills and active front aero splitters are both highlighted rather garishly in chrome unless one springs for the $750 exterior night package that renders most bright work in gloss black. This car's black soft top might have looked more interesting against its $720 brilliant blue paint in the optional brown, but even Spec D exactly like our test car the GT C Roadster is fantastic to behold. We weren't alone in our admiration, as we found while driving all around Los Angeles, where 6-figure convertibles are as common as palm trees and dubious service animals. We couldn't have gotten more attention if we had Playboy bunnies shooting fireworks off the trunk. Tourists, tour guides, street merchants, and even LAPD officers craned their necks and gaped. Dropping the top would drop jaws, putting the GTC's remarkable lowness and its formidable 79.0-inch width just 0.4-inch narrower than the 2018 Rolls-Royce Phantom on full display. Those who didn't see the car could certainly hear the deep rumbling exhaust note delivered by the GTC's standard AMG performance exhaust system. With the car's driving mode set to S+, a throttle blip followed by a delicious whip crack pop 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 on overrun was always good for a thumbs up or two. Target: 911 GTS Cabriolet. At the track, the GT C Roadster turned in performance numbers close to those of its bogey, the 911 GTS Cabriolet. 0 to 60 miles per hour requires 3.3 seconds and the AMG 0.3 longer than the Porsche, but by 100 miles per hour the two cars are tied at 7.3 seconds. By 130 miles per hour, the GTC is a second ahead of the Porsche, a gap that grows to 2 seconds by 150 miles per hour. Both cars clocked 4.0 seconds in our 5 to 60 mph rolling start test. Each could claim some passing lane bragging rights, with the GTC sprinting from 30 to 50 miles per hour in 2.2 seconds and from 50 to 70 in 2.7, while the Porsche did both deeds in 2.5. We actually expected the new GTC to be quicker, considering that we hustled a 503 HP 2016 GTS coupe to 60 in 3.0 seconds flat during a 2015 comparison test. This car, however, reached most milestone speeds between 0.1 and 0.4 second behind the less powerful GTS despite its additional horsepower, revised gearing, and even more rear-biased weight distribution. The difference could be attributable to fuel quality. The comparo was done in Europe and the GTC ragtops additional 127 pounds. Stomp on the gas in a GTC and such discrepancies seem academic. In practice, catapulting to 60 miles per hour in 3.3 seconds in this AMG is a neck-snapping, hold on with both hands, giggle-inducing riot, especially with the top down so that the sublime, unfiltered soundtrack washes over the occupants. Torque is omnipresent, with all 502 lb-ft available from 1900 rpm and served with almost zero lag in sport or sport and modes. The GT C Roadster's formidable 1.04 GS of lateral grip edges out the lighter 911 GTS cabrios by 0.01 grams, with quick off-center steering response and pan-flat body control. At 151 feet from 70 miles per hour to 0, however, the car's braking performance was a tad disappointing, some 10 feet longer than the GTS coupes despite this car's $8,950 carbon ceramic brake discs. Even so, brake pedal feel was pretty much perfect. 911 fast is not 911-like. If the GTC's mandate is to match the 911 GTS move for move, we'd say mission accomplished. But the two cars aren't really similar in character. As we noted in our first drive of the GTC coupe, AMG may be aping Porsche's 911 model structure but is doing so with a completely different sort of car. And this, we think, will help the GTC succeed. With its long wheelbase, prominent hood, and set-back cabin, the big Mercedes doesn't place the driver right in the action the way the Porsche does. This means the driving experience is rather more like an Aston Martin DB11S, spectacularly fast and engaging when driven at 11/10 ths but Gran Turismo chill when just cruising around, with adaptive dampers keeping the ride heroically smooth in all but the sport and setting. There's a particularly high sense of occasion inside the GTC's richly ornamented cabin. Nappa leather is standard, while the matte-finished carbon fiber trim came as part of an optional package that added a reasonable $3,150 to the Roadster's $158,995 base price. Other upgrades included a $1,500 carbon fiber engine cover, a $4,500 Burmester audio system, and the $2,250 Distronic Plus cruise control setup. This GTC Roadster's tested price was $180,065. That's Audi R8 V10 Spider/Porsche 911 Turbo Cabriolet money and could come across as rather ambitious. Then again, the AMG GT is much cheaper, and quicker, than the preceding SLS AMG as well as that car's predecessor, the SLR McLaren. And when it comes to sheer curb appeal, nothing short of a current McLaren gets this much positive attention. While very little daylight exists between the objective performance levels of the AMG GTC and 911 GTS convertibles, the two cars feel as if they were developed on different planets. The GTC may be as quick, but it offers looks, sensations, and sounds all its own. We think it's okay to like them both.